Senator Jim Banks, now Republican out of Indiana, serves on the Senate Armed Services Committee. And Senator, good morning to you, and thank you for your time.
Good to be with you.
Where does this go, and how much pushback does he get from people in his own party on Capitol Hill?
Well, President Trump, what I appreciate about him most is he's been very clear that he will finish the job. He said that over and over again. 2 nights ago, the American military struck about 80 targets. Last night, 100 targets, and he's made it very clear we're not going to let up. The ceasefire gave us time for our military to restore our munitions stockpiles. And now you're seeing that the full force of the American military, the might of the American military, is something that the Iranians do not want to face again. President Trump saying that they want us to come to the table and take a deal, but President Trump is not going to take just any deal with the Iranians. It has to be a deal that ensures that they never get a nuclear weapon. That's what's at stake here. And President Trump has been very firm and clear and clear-eyed. We're not going to take any deal. It has to be a deal that's in America's best interest to prevent them from doing that. And the worst is yet to come. The Iranians know that they have to know that they will be doomed, literally doomed, if America wants to force their hand, if they don't want to come to the table to make that agreement. There will be hell to pay, literally. President Trump has made that very clear. So I expect the Iranians to feel the hurt and to come back to the table and try to get to a better deal that accomplishes that.
Sometimes hard to know who you're dealing with there on the other side. 2 things here. J.D. Vance, the vice president, yesterday on the road said, the deal is very simple. They shoot at ships, we're going to knock the hell out of them. Meanwhile, here's General Jack Keane on the importance of the Strait of Hormuz and how the Iranians now understand that.
Iran looks at the Straits of Hormuz. They really see that as a strategic asset. And controlling that is equivalent in their minds to having nuclear weapons. It gives them significant strategic influence in the region. It gives them leverage to bend the nations in the region to their will.
Okay, now, so you got the issue here where you're trying to manage it, right? And this conflict can linger. In the meantime, you're trying to control a coastline that's more than 1,000 miles long. How do we do it?
Well, CENTCOM has confirmed, by the way, those strikes 2 nights ago and last night were largely directed at wiping out Iran's military assets to keep the strait clear, to keep oil flowing through the straits. I mean, my interest here on behalf of Hoosiers is to make sure that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon and that we keep gas prices low and bring down the cost of living for families in Indiana. And that's what President Trump is trying to accomplish with these strikes. The only thing the Iranians react to is the force of our military. Remember, too, that the blockade, when it was in effect, was very effective. But on top of that, these military strikes are decimating the Iranian military and making it much more difficult for them to block the strait to keep oil flowing. So President Trump is he's doing what no other president has been willing to do. Obama, Biden, any Democrat president before that's tried to appease or work with the Iranians have walked away with bad deals. President Trump is not going to take a bad deal, and this proves it. This proves that President Trump is serious. He keeps saying he will finish the job, and I fully believe that and trust that President Trump and Secretary Hegseth and the men and women that make up the greatest and most powerful military in the world are going to do their job and bring Iran to their knees to the point that they know they have to come to the table and bring a ceasefire, come to the table and sign a deal that would prevent them from ever having a nuclear weapon.
Let's hope it gets done. We'll see what happens tonight. In the meantime, we'll take it day by day. Senator, thank you for your time. Jim Banks, Republican out of Indiana, back home in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Thank you. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.